Hey folks, welcome back to the MattVidPro AI YouTube channel. I've got some really fun updates for AI creatives today, mainly going to be focusing on one new image gen, but I do have some little tidbits at the end, so don't miss those. Krea AI has developed their very own image generation model, and it's completely free. I've been messing around with it, and I am certainly impressed. Let me get you guys caught up on the context of who Krea is, though, and why it matters that they're making this image gen. First of all, Krea AI isn't a native AI development company. It's not like OpenAI where they make their own models and then release them. They began aggregating AI models from APIs and open source into their website Krea, which is an AI design website for creatives. Make imagery, make video, all kinds of stuff. They never made their own models, but that changes now. This image gen is called Krea-1, and typically when these non-native AI companies make their own model, I'm a little bit skeptical and they turn out to not be too good, but this one is different. You can see in this announcement they're releasing the public beta of their first image gen model, and they trained it in collaboration with Black Forest Labs. Now, this company is known for Flux, and most recently Flux Context, which is fantastic. They do semi-open models, and they are absolutely state-of-the-art, some of the best stuff we've seen. In fact, they've been working on a video model for a very long time now. It's safe to say that they have some serious chops in the AI model space. Overall, Krea wanted to offer superior aesthetic control, think Midjourney, and image quality. They claim this model is built to avoid that AI typical look that most image gen models have. We'll talk a little bit about what that exactly means and how well that claim actually holds up. They want good skin textures, dramatic camera angles, cinematic lighting, and hundreds of expressive styles. And you guys can see, if we jump on the main page here, Krea One, they're immediately advertising this as a free image gen, and I've been able to generate with it for completely free. I just had to log into Krea, no paid plan. Off the bat, these examples are very punchy. They've got great detail. Look at this fox, for example. If we go ahead and zoom on in, you'll be able to see the individual hairs on the fox's head and some light grain as well, which is what I would typically expect to see in a real photo. Not to mention a couple of little dust particles flying around. Now, if we move on down towards the bottom of the image, we can see, of course, this is an AI photo because the fox is playing on a drum set in the middle of the forest. A little bit less detail and coherence on these drums. It's a much more complex object, but looking from afar, it's definitely not bad at all. AI still has yet to master those intense small details on objects like a drum set. And don't worry, we will be comparing to some other top tier image gen as well. If we look at some of these other ones, you're going to notice the similarities here. Lots of intense detail, not a lot of AI mush. This sushi one I found incredibly impressive. I mean, look at the reflective texture on the sushi itself, or the sashimi, and then if we move over to the sushi, you can see all that little individual rice pieces. I mean, that is pretty great. Painterly style, we can see those individual brushstrokes. Again, think high detail. These demos also have a lot of car photography, which is typically a very difficult challenge for image gen, but this Porsche 911 looks really good. Maybe a little bit of weirdness in some areas, obviously not perfect to the original car. The E30 BMW also looks pretty fantastic, but as good as all these samples are, they're obviously cherry-picked for one, and not all of them are really pushing the model to its limits. So let's peel the page back a little bit farther and take a look at what I've been messing around with personally. First of all, I wanted to recreate that Porsche 911 image with a different car, something that typically would be a little bit more confusing for the training data, and it definitely was. The specific car I was going for in this scenario was an NA Miata, and instead we got an NB, and this is a very typical trap that these AI image gen models will fall into with this particular vehicle. I will say though, that is a pretty darn good NB Miata. But looking at these, I think it really is fair to say that the overall style and prompt adherence is pretty great despite it not being the exact car I was looking for. That subtle orange background, the fact that the car is floating in the air, it's got this surreal factor to it, it is underexposed like the prompt asks for. It's crisp, it's sharp. I think it's fair to say the demo images is we're not lying. Now let's talk about this prompt down here. This is a little bit more challenging. This one was definitely a little bit more challenging, and it was an attempt to push the model to its limits. Desolate backyard at night. We want sideways rain violently sucked towards a large glowing crater in the ground. We want steam rising up. We asked for gravitational lens warping, distorting the raindrops, eerie glow illumination, rusted garden tools scattered haphazardly. It's a very surreal image. And taking a look at our results, it definitely listened to the prompt pretty well. In natural text language, it's pretty unclear what sideways rain actually means. I think if you were to ask most folks to draw sideways rain, instead of doing it vertically, I think everyone would be doing it horizontally. But can you blame the image model for being a little bit confused? No. And the top tier image gen that we'll take a look at is also going to be pretty confused. I like the aesthetic of these images, though. I think they have great color palette. To Krea's credit, it definitely doesn't have that AI generated feel to it, but the prompt was also leaning in that direction. The garden tools, kind of difficult to make out what they individually are, but again, we'll take a look at some very good image gen from other companies, and you'll see that that is a common theme. I like that we can see the individual drops, no gravitational warping, which is a little bit sad, but yeah, the surreal vibe, something mysterious going on in this crater in the backyard, alien crash land type fiasco, it's definitely there. So let's compare to some really top tier image gen. This is Ideogram 3.0. Same exact prompt. You can see there are some differences. First thing you're going to notice is that it's a little bit less of this eerie, dark vibe. You can see a little bit more in the image. I'd say that's kind of up to user preference, but it definitely doesn't convey like that eerie feeling as well. And that goes for most of these, I would say. Sideways rain still doesn't get that as horizontal, still believes that's vertical, and fair enough. I mean, that's super vague anyways, but we've got the steam. We do have the objects as well. Various lawn equipment, still can't really make out what all of these individual pieces of rusty equipment are. I will say, it's interesting that you can't see the individual blobs of rain like you can with the Krea One. For me, that's going to be a huge leg up with Krea One in this scenario. It actually listened to that part of the prompt where kind of was ignored by Ideogram, surprisingly. I will say, though, in this generation particularly, it does look like the rain is being sucked more into the crater, but also, one thing to note is no gravitational lens warping visible on this one either. They're similar, but I'm impressed. Honestly, I think I do prefer the Krea One generations. They look a little bit more realistic, a little bit less AI generated-y. Surprisingly, that claim by them is holding up so far. Now, where does this AI generated-esque effect really come from? It really, I think, comes from the textures and shapes of objects. If we take a good look at these ideogram images, like this texture right here looks pretty realistic, but it also kind of looks like a claymation or a miniature style effect. I mean, it's not bad, don't get me wrong, but I do think that this grass looks more realistic. Now let's go ahead and toss this same exact prompt into OpenAI's autoregressive GPT-4 Omni multimodal image gen. Totally different architecture than traditional diffusion like this Krea One or Ideogram is. It's going to produce a different looking image for sure. Let's give it a go. And take a look at our results. There are going to be some notable differences. The first one being that it decided to make some regular art, not a photograph, which is our first kind of L. Despite the artistic style, we can actually tell what the rusted tools are. This is clearly a shovel or spade. We've got some pitchforks as well, and then some broken pieces. It listened to the sideways rain in a more interesting way. It did it diagonally instead of vertical or horizontal, so at least it tried to do something different, but it's also not being sucked into the crater, and there are certainly no gravitational lens warping. Very similar in the next one as well. The rain is also diagonal, but it's not being sucked towards the crater. We can tell what the lawn equipment is: shovel, pitchfork, rake, but is it a photograph? Absolutely not. Definitely more like digital art or a painting. Same deal with this one, and same deal with this one. Honestly, my hat's off to Krea on this one. Partnering up with Black Forest Labs was definitely a great idea because it still has good prompt adherence. Seriously, it does. Now, it sucks that we can't really make out what these individual tools are, but for catching the vibe, making it look real, listening to some of those finer details like those individually visible droplets that are back illuminated by the light source, I think it's better than Ideogram, which is top tier diffusion, and better than state-of-the-art autoregressive from OpenAI. Okay, let's move into some graphic design, like making thumbnails for YouTube videos. This is going to test text and really complex verbal descriptions as well. For this particular one, we're looking for a vending machine on the left-hand side with a calendar flipping through months fast on the right-hand side. We want large YouTuber-style text at the top saying Day 1 neat setup, Day 180, chaos. Papers are everywhere. Power is off. FBI logo is stamped. We also want a robot face morphing from hopeful to horrified. I mean, that is a difficult verbal prompt. How does CREA One handle this task? Well, we've got the vending machine on the left, which is pretty great. We've got the calendar as well on the right-hand side. It got the Day 180 chaos pretty well. I think that looks good, but this one says Neat 1 May 1? Question mark, not what we were looking for. A little bit closer with this one. Day 1 neat setup, Day 180 chassis. Still got the vending machine. Put the papers inside the vending machine, which is very intriguing. Got a weird robot face in here too. It's not like a morphing halfway face. Again, a little bit more weirdness with the text, not exactly perfect, kind of a horrifying half robot, half human face. And then this one got Day 1 and Day 180. Again, putting chassis on this and then the YouTube logo, so graphic design, not super strong. I'll take you guys over to the ideogram generations, which are just disgustingly good. This is where the prompt adherence and the graphic design training with ideogram absolutely pays off. You have perfect text up at the top, Day 1 neat setup, Day 180 chaos. The vending machine is perfectly on the left-hand side, and it's selling like regular drink products, or appears to be. Literally a halfway point with like the normal clean robot and then the dirty freaking out robot, really conveying exactly what we're looking for from that prompt. And I did actually use this in a real video. Also got the perfect calendar over here. Well, not perfect, but very good calendar. It just says months, and then the FBI logo is also stamped. But this is also replicatable. That's the thing you have to understand too with Ideogram. Like, that's not just a fluke. Same thing, calendar on this side, FBI logo, robot, halfway face, vending machine, and perfect text at the top. When it comes to graphic design, when it comes to doing that text perfectly, ordering things around, yeah, Ideogram is going to be your best friend. CREA is just not winning on this particular use case. To be fair though, it did put up a pretty good fight, so for light text use cases, it's definitely a possibility. It's not like it is incapable of producing text. Just for fun, let's see what OpenAI's GPT-4 Omni produces. I'd say not as good as Ideogram, but still pretty stellar prompt adherence. Next up, I went for the absolute classic. We got a cheerful anthropomorphic lemon character in Voxel style. He's standing confidently. He's got a bright yellow body with a distinct textured peel. Also needs to be in voxel style though, which is going to be difficult. Got some pretty cool black sunglasses, relaxed and stylish, and we've got him positioned against a simple gradient background from light green to pale yellow. Definitely a voxel lemon. I mean, we don't have perfect voxels, obviously. I don't think any image generator really does it perfectly, especially with something this complex, but it's pretty great. I mean, we can see the individual pixels. Like, these sunglasses would be pretty traceable into an actual 3D model, I would say. It did try to anthropomorphize the lemon a little bit. Kind of did so strangely, gave him like Minecraft arms and legs. Not sure how I feel about that. Typically, I like lemony arms and legs, but definitely voxel style, and we've got that transitioning background. This one, again, kind of the same issue where it tries to give him like these human body parts because of the word anthropomorphic, but really great voxel style on this. I love the top over here. This 3D voxel shape. I feel like this would go really hard as like an animation, and also without these weird human blob parts on it. Not to say we didn't get any good anthropomorphized lemons though. We definitely got some pretty traditional blocky arms that are still yellow, matching the rest of the body. Looks a little bit more coherent, still voxely, and this one as well. It's got more of a retro feel to it. It feels less AI generated despite being pretty easy to pick out because of the imperfections with the pixels. Pretty damn good. You'll see here that Ideogram takes a far different approach to this. Instead of giving you voxel style like you would see if you looked up, someone developing a voxel-based game online, it gives you like a pixel art character in 3D. A little bit less voxel, more just straight up pixel art. I will say though, I like that the gradient tried to do something creative with this. Green on the border with the yellow being on the middle, and the anthropomorphized lemon character still looks great. It's a pretty similar deal with this one. For this one, it basically just did pixel art, kind of ignoring everything else. It did great pixel art, actually shockingly coherent pixel by pixel. Like, I feel like this is almost perfectly traceable in like Aspirite or something, but not exactly voxel. And same goes for this guy. Like, this is great pixel art, but it's not exactly voxel. And for this one, again, it's more of like a 3D render of a pixel character rather than actually being voxel. Krea One definitely holds a little bit better to the style that we asked for. How does OpenAI's autoregressive image gen fare? Actually pretty well. I'd say it combines a lot of the great traits we saw from the Ideogram one with a little bit better of a voxel style. You can see all of the images that it generated are very much similar in that regard, although this one I would say not super voxely. Honestly, in my heart of hearts, I'm gonna give the win to Krea just for nailing the voxel style, but the specific anthropomorphized character part, the overall design of the character, definitely could be a bit better on some of these. Next up is a really tough one. We want a dramatic cinematic portrait of an old Italian Mafia style turtle. Like vintage fedora, pinstripe suit, deep dramatic lighting, looking right at the camera. I mean, there is a ton of detail in this prompt, but we asked for a turtle. Like, keep that in mind. We asked for a turtle character, and none of these images gave us a turtle. Instead, we just kind of got this old Mafia boss, which is still pretty cool. Also passed the cigar smoking test. Smoke isn't coming out of exactly where we would want, but like that one, this one's pretty darn good. That looks like a scene straight out of a movie, dare I say. Freaking fantastic textures on the skin, the smoke, even the hat. It's all pretty much there. Again though, the issue, not a turtle. However, Krea-1 is not alone. Without fail, every single time, Ideogram 3.0 also just generates a regular Mafia boss. Actually, I think the textures are a little bit more fake and plasticky looking on this character, although the smoke is coming out of the correct place every single time. But it feels less like a movie, more like a scene from like a video game render or something. It's cool, still a great generation, but the aesthetics definitely prefer Krea 1. I think the fact that neither of them got the turtle is very telling. If you told a human to draw this, they would immediately draw a turtle because reading the prompt, it asks specifically for a turtle. But since this is a trained model, it's kind of aggregating and averaging everything, skips the turtle because Mafia turtle just ain't in the training data. Diffusion is going to ignore it. How is OpenAI's autoregressive model going to handle it? Whew, there is the difference, folks, between autoregressive OpenAI image gen and the traditional diffusion. Knows exactly what to do, gives us that turtle with all the wrinkles, the cigar, the whole bit. Exactly what we asked for. It really comes down to your prompt at the end of the day. Some stuff gets ignored. Is this more expensive than Krea? Yes, but yeah, both times. I tried this twice. It's giving you your Mafia turtle exactly how you asked it for. Which is interesting because sometimes it does skip other things in the prompt. You gotta wonder, is it down to the training data? Is it down to the fine-tuning? Or is it because this is autoregressive and the other two are diffusion? Let me know what you think down in the comments below, but I'm gonna have to give the win to OpenAI's GPT-4o for this. Mentioning turtle multiple times in the prompt does help. Instead, I went for a very distinguished turtle gentleman, which was pretty intriguing. He's got a monocle, the cigar, sipping on some wine. I really like how consistent his hands are in this one. You can see these are like hyper-realistic humanoid turtle hands, which actually work pretty well. Feels like something you might see in a movie if a mutant turtle did exist. It's definitely capable of generating your turtle in a wide variety of scenarios, even smoking the cigar, but you're gonna have to be careful with your prompting. Just to demonstrate, I did also try some pretty basic text generation, thumbnail generation stuff. I think these are a little bit less creative and dynamic than what I saw from Ideogram, but they absolutely work, especially for something that is free. Next up, I went for the classic man riding a bullfrog CCTV clip found footage. I gotta say, Krea One nailed this. We've got that bullfrog at the gas station. The dude is riding it around. It looks like this old crappy image from a CCTV camera. Freaking love it. And I even love the numbers at top being all digital. It seemed to do this pretty well. This is kind of like regular CCTV image. I mean, it made this like a literal bullfrog with the horns and also spliced another frog in here. But here's another one where he's just like standing on top of the frog. And then finally this one too. So these are all great though. I love the way that these turned out. No surprise though, Ideogram's fine-tuning absolutely hates these types of prompts, does not give you CCTV footage style at all or found footage style. It gives you like these really high quality DSLR or cinematic images of a dude riding a bullfrog. This one's a little bit more blurry, but this looks like a 90s TV ad still. They're still fun. They still adhere to some of the prompts, but it's not giving me what I asked for like Krea One is. And again, that Black Forest Labs collaboration really shines through, especially on this prompt. So yeah, bravo and congrats to Krea on their brand new image gen model. It's still in beta, so it's still being worked on. If I could give them any advice, it would be to work a little bit more on the ability to adhere to your prompt, especially in the graphic design side of things. A little bit better text, a little bit better understanding of highly nuanced and detailed prompts. But if it came to that and the overall style coherency, the ability to produce that CCTV style or a gritty film noir style, I would stick to preserving the style, because it's really great at that. I must say it's also really quick to generate. It being free is a huge plus. That collaboration with Black Forest Labs absolutely made this a stellar, state-of-the-art model right on release. I've got a few more things to talk about before we close out, so let's get into it. First up, this WAN 2.1 14B Fusion model, which merges the models for faster, richer motion and detail in as little as 8 steps, is available on Civic AI. Apparently, you only need 12 gigabytes of VRAM on your GPU to run this, as per a user in my Discord server, which you should join, by the way. So I'm wondering if you guys would be interested in seeing a tutorial on this locally. I've been waiting for some really solid video generation models and fine-tunes and things such as this to appear. It might finally be time to do that nice tutorial, so let me know. This was also open sourced. It's called Titans. This is memory as context architecture. Apparently, it's kind of a clone of Google's architecture for long-term context and memory in large language models. But yeah, this is open source, so I thought I would bring it to your attention. I'll probably include this stuff in my weekly news roundup as well, but I wanted to start kind of bringing some of this stuff back into my traditional videos because stuff like this is always popping up in my Discord server, and I want you guys to see it. Apparently, there's also some new Gemini models, some finalized 2.5 Pro and 2.5 Flash models that are also hitting the scene. We might be talking about those tomorrow. We might be talking about something else. Not sure. Regardless, be on the lookout. I want to thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I am MattVidPro. If you like my videos, please make sure to leave a like, of course, on the video and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you really want to get in with the community and stay up to date, I highly suggest joining the Discord server. See you in the next one, folks. Have a great day.